All right, there we go. So, yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into it. For your album, why am I blanking out on the name of it now? Uh, Through Sheer Will and Black Magic, uh the album art for it is so like unexpected for the genre, the style that you create. So, what was your initial reaction when you saw the artwork for the first time?
Oh, I mean, it's tremendous. Karmazid, he knocked it out of the fucking park. Like unbelievable. I mean, we sent him the email with the description of kind of what we wanted, but we also, as you mentioned, kind of for what we do, usually you see like more illustration in black and white. But we wanted to do paint and use Dark Angels, Darkness Descends, and Sodom's Eight in Orange sort of as a color template, and just kind of bring the colors back from that era, but be something completely on its own. Like I don't think when you look at the cover you think, oh, Darkness Descends by any stretch of the imagination, but that was the basis for what we used.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, how do you feel that, how do you pronounce his name again? Karmarzid?
Karmazid. I think so. It's Karmazid.
Okay. How do you feel that he captured the overall like essence of what the album is all about?
I mean, he he crushed our expectations. Like we knew he would do an amazing job because we really like his work in general, and we liked his paint. And this was, I think, his what he told me was his. I hope I'm not wrong, but maybe first or second paint commission that he did for a band. Um, and he just killed it. Like it's spot on. And a lot of people are grabbed and drawn into the album cover, which is, it's hard not to be.
Yeah, it's a it's really different. It's really cool, like with all the dragons and like the demons and stuff. Like when you're looking at it, what songs do you see like in certain areas, or do you see like certain songs from the album or
Not
anything
really.
like that?
Not really. I kind of hear albums as like one whole unit and less of like a song by song sort of thing. Like it's very intentional, the order in which we place them and such. And before it's an actual album, it is just a bunch of, it feels like songs, but until we like record it and get all the layers done and start putting stuff in order, it starts to feel like one cohesive unit, which is what we want. Because I don't like when albums just feel like a bunch of songs slapped together. I like them to feel like it's intentional and like a
Right.
whole narrative. So
Okay. Yeah, and the photography is really cool too by Scott Kincaid.
yeah.
Like, were they, because some of the pictures they look like they're like, actual film, like in the processing liquid.
Yeah, so I've known Scott for many years. God, when did we meet? 2007, 2008. So he's been photographing me and for forever. But yeah, he came. We did that all in our practice space, and we set up a background, and he brought his lights and cameras, and he just sort of worked his magic. We let him lead the way. We told him we wanted a lot of it. To be more obscured and a little less color. But I mean, obviously, we have some color shots too. But yeah, no, Scott's a master of what he does.
Yeah, those are again like really different pictures. Like you don't see stuff like that usually.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so when you were creating through Sheer Will and Black Magic, like being the guitarist, and I did you, well, first of all, did you write some of the lyrics or was that
Ed writes all the lyrics. We
okay?
it all in his bark. He's got a really interesting approach to writing lyrics too. He's a very creative guy. He has a lyric book actually of just the things that'll come to him that he's written down over the years, and some of the stuff or just phrases that he's had forever, or like a line or something that he connected with, and then sometimes we'll piece them together. But a lot of times he'll like sit on the floor and kind of hear it and visualize it and write too. Like it's all, it's all very visual and fitting with the music, but there's a lot of underlying personal things within his lyrics too. So
Right, right. Yeah. So like when you were creating the music for it, before you even heard the lyrics, did you go like on a visual journey, like as you were creating the solos and the riffs and whatnot?
um oh man, that's a tough one. um I wouldn't say really. It's kind of hard. I don't know if this totally answers your question, but some of the stuff I would come up with at home, and I would largely come up with most of a song at home and then be sort of tied up. Sometimes I would show up with like a riff or two or a section, and then it would just sort of, it would go from there if we'd find flow and write a song from there. But no, it was, we knew what kind of record we wanted. Um, it just, we didn't see it right away. Like we just knew we wanted to do something that was really, really dark, but also a little more proficient with sharper songwriting, which is something you don't really see within the genre that we play. So, yeah, we knew that that's what we wanted, and we also wanted to make sure that it had the right atmosphere, and that, but the instruments are also a little more up front so you could hear them. We needed a nice middle ground so you didn't lose either.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Like so as you mentioned darkness, that was actually my next question. Like what songs do you feel like portray the most darkness or the most dark energy, I guess? And like which songs and why?
Hmm. Um, I don't know. I think Luciferian Return, the last song on that record's, I don't know, for not to sound corny, for lack of a better term, it's one of the deeper feeling songs that we have on the album. It's got a lot of variety, and that long ending. I don't know, that one felt, I don't know, that one felt the most complete as far as feeling, um all around. But I mean, they all sort of do something different, which was also what we wanted. We want all the songs to do something a little different that each the others don't, just to have a little bit more variety, and so that you can remember it, but not lose anything either.
Okay. Yeah. And it was produced, mixed, and mastered by Arthur Risk. These
Arthur
names.
Arthur
Um, yeah, like what elements do you feel that he really captured and brought to life for this album?
Oh man, Arthur's a genius. He's a whiz. He's a very busy guy, as you know.
Yeah.
I've known Arthur for now about 8 or 9 years. I sometimes go out and play with one of his bands and do fill-ins on tour with them, and he's also recorded my other band's other two albums. So we're very familiar and comfortable with each other. As far as the feeling, and like the how the album sounded, there really wasn't much to it at all. I didn't twiddle a whole lot of knobs on the amps or anything. We sort of dialed into good sound and went. And as far as like the atmosphere, even the first bounce back of the mix, it was just like, all right, well, you got the atmosphere now. Now we just gotta, tweak some other things. But it really, pretty much the first try, he nailed it. Like there wasn't a lot of the stuff we did was just little mixing things and fixing some shit up, and just little bells and whistles just to make it pop. But he nailed it right off the bat.
Yeah. Like there's a very ominous sound to it. It has like that classic early Norwegian black metal. Like it has those vibes in it and stuff,
Mhm.
but it also has like those thrashy tones to it too. Like with Norwegian black metal or black metal in general, especially like when the scene was first starting, like how do you feel that Daeva. Am I okay? Am I pronouncing your band
Deva,
names?
yeah, Diva,
Okay.
Deva, yeah, either or.
Like, how do you feel that like Daeva really embodies what the early days of black metal were all about, and like you make it your own, if that makes sense?
So what it is just sort of a culmination of things, of two things. I've always liked, you know, the thrash from the 80s, Sodom, Slayer, um, Dark Angel, and all the German stuff. But I grew up also listening to the Norwegian black metal. But then I always kind of had a love for when the two sort of got mixed, like R and War. Um, for example, like they did Black-Thrash, Black-Thrash Attack, and then bands like Niflheim. Um, I always loved the sort of marriage of the two, and because it's real pissed and aggressive and unhinged, but it has the feel of black metal, and I always just love the two. And I don't know, I guess there's a lot of bands that do it, but there's only a handful of bands that do this sort of thing that I've ever really like loved. And for the longest time I was always looking for stuff, and I was just like, nah man, this isn't hitting the mark. This isn't what I want to hear. So it's just sort of making the album, like the album I've been trying to hear for years. So that's basically what it boils down to. But I kind of drifted off. Um, I don't know. I'd say the black metal part, obviously, especially the early Norwegian stuff, is a huge part of our sound, and the essence is definitely there. But I wouldn't say like it's a total like you know Norse core sort of rip off by any stretch of the imagination. It's just an element of our sound.
Yeah, it's really cool because it it's definitely not like a copycat band by any means. Like it's you have your own unique style to it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the album sounds amazing, by the way. Like I've been blasting at my poor neighbors. But
Oh yeah, good. I'm glad. That's Yeah, no, I'm really happy with the way it sounded. Um, it's very again, it has that very like abysmal, like it has that kind of cavey, evil atmosphere, but the instruments are enough up front, and you can hear everything to the point where nothing gets lost. It's like right where it needs to be, in my opinion. I haven't seen anyone complain about the mix too much yet, but I'm sure that's coming.
it's the internet. You can't satisfy anybody.
Some Sherlock Holmes is gonna, you know, say what they need to say about the mix. But
Oh yeah. Don't even get me started.
oh
But
yeah, I,
yeah, like what
I was just gonna say I just have to be nice and let them do their thing. I can't say anything because then it just makes me look like a jerk. So, but whatever. Anyways,
yeah, sometimes the best thing is just to not even say anything at all. But yeah, what was it that initially attracted you to black metal and made you want to like play that style?
um, I just kind of everything about it. I mean, I got into it, like I in maybe sophomore year of high school. When was that? 2002, maybe somewhere around then. Um, and I've always been kind of a cherry picker with genres. A lot of stuff I always try to find the best of. I always sort of gravitate towards the best of each. And not saying there's like other stuff I don't listen to. I listen to a lot of stuff, but I don't know. It's just the feeling. I love death metal, black metals. I think definitely. I mean, I like the feeling. It's a little more. I hate to say it like this, but it's a little more digestible. To me, it's a little easy to like grasp, because it's a little more melodic. Even when it's even when it's like darker, more dissonant, to me, it's like I can. I've always just gravitated toward that and melody a little more. Um, and it's got a lot of feelings, but I don't know. I'm sure some. I love death metal. Don't get me wrong, I've played in death metal bands. So anybody who's hears this and thinks I'm ragging on death metal, no, I'm not.
At Damnation Vault, we embrace every single genre, like no matter what it is.
Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's pretty visceral. Like you can't really put your finger on it. You just hear it and something just clicks. It's like that with anything else. It's hard to.
Yeah, yeah. Um, do you remember like one of the first songs that you learned?
Mm, uh, Jeez. I don't know about a lot of the songs I learned. I can just remember getting a lot of those albums in very close proximity in a very small period of time, window of time, and just digesting them. Um, like like I'm wearing a Dark Throne shirt.
Yeah, I see that.
Like at Blazing the Northern Sky, I remember I got it, and admittedly, like as a teenager when that music's new to you, it is pretty abrasive to your ears, but you still like there's something there that you're like wait, there's something here. I'm just gonna listen to this a bunch, and then it finally like you wrap your head around it. But I remember cleaning my shitty teenage bedroom with that in my Discman for like hours and just listening to it on loop. And yeah, I miss those days of just you get a CD, you buy it, and it's what you bought, and you just listen to it over and over and over again, and you just digest music so much more. Now,
Yes.
more overwhelming. So
Yeah, that's like kind of, I mean, don't get me wrong, streaming platforms, they have their good side to it, but at the same time, yeah, you there's so much on there that you just want to keep playing. Okay, this song, okay, I'm gonna skip to a different band. I'm gonna, and you don't like fully listen to an entire album per se. I mean, sometimes, but
yeah, it. I hated it, and I mean, I have a bunch of vinyls here, but I got all my CDs that my mom, the house I grew up in, it was stashed away in my bedroom, and I went home, and she was finally like, "Can you kind of like move out finally?" So I mean, I have my own house. So I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I have a big pile of shit over here with CDs, and it's been awesome because what I've been doing is I'll just go and I'll reach into the crate and grab like a fistful of them and bring them into the car, and I don't listen to music from my phone. So I'll just have 5 or 6 CDs in the seat next to me, and I'll be like, all right, this is what I have. So I'll see what's held up, what's not, but you're just forced to listen to it. Like you have to sit down and try to digest it, which I've missed. I really like doing that. So
yeah, yeah, you form a different bond with the music, that's for sure.
yeah.
So, yeah, those are all of my questions. So, do you have any other messages you want to get out to the world?
Um, I don't know. Hope you like our record. If you're in the Philly area, happen to be, we are playing a record release show with Tower, Sumerlands, and Eternal Champion. It's also Sumerland's record release show. We're gonna release an album on Relapse this year. So if you're in the Philadelphia area on November 4th, you should check it out.
Noted. All right, and I'm gonna put it out there. Come play a show in Fargo.
Sure, absolutely.
We have a good metal scene out here. We just need more bands from other areas to play.
But, well, hopefully we make it out there. We'll see what the future holds for us in the next year or two. So,
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview, even though you're not feeling well. So, really appreciate it.
now I actually got to go to practice. So
Oh,
ready for the show? I'll be all right. It's how I do it. So,
yeah, a martyr for the music, right?
uh, you know, playing music and as an adult is definitely it's when you have the time, you have to take it. Otherwise, like you have to take the windows of time when you can get them. So it
Right.
can be
Right.
hard.
Well, thank you so much again, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the night at practice and you feel better.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bye.
Take care.
You too.